Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another. Well, that's not a Loilo Clash this time. This is the second episode of the Forward Castle podcast. And, well, we have a very nice guest for you today, but let's go for our new intro. Thanks to Mr. Fluffy Bunny.
Welcome to Forward Castle, where the games get real. From low elo to pro, we're breaking the seal. Tournaments and drama, patch notes, new strats. If it's Age of Empires, we've got all that. Walls are falling, battles calling. No king too small, no fight too tall. At Forward Castle, we're building it strong. Step into the fray, you can't go wrong. Hosted by the Low Elo Legion, Forward Castle where the siege chat can begin. Hosted by the Low Elo Legion, Forward Castle where the siege chat can begin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys liked it. That's our new intro song, and it's time for us to hear from our guest and our co-caster. You know him already. Lonzo always going to be here for the whole of this episode, and we also have S0laf1d3. How are you doing, S0laf1d3?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling pretty good, pretty fresh.
Nice. How about you, Lonzo?
I'm doing all right. I carried Chris a lot yesterday. I'm a bit tired, but overall, it's fine. It's good.
Too much heavy work for you on the Legion, it seems.
I do the heavy lifting all the time, man. It happens. It's fine.
All right, fair enough. So we don't have a webcam yet for S0laf1d3, but I heard he's about to get one. So maybe you should tune in to his stream. Maybe, yeah, that would be interesting. So the episode for today is going to be The Player I Hate. Is going to be a series we want to have on the podcast where we get someone to talk about their experience with a certain kind of, let's call it, an orthodox strategy. That's how I prefer. But yeah, today the player I hate is the lamer. So S0laf1d3, tell us why you're here. How did you get here? How did stuff happen this way? And why do you hate lamers?
Okay. So first off, how did I get here? I've been playing the game for quite a while, since I was a little kid, but more recently I've been streaming, mostly by watching content like things that 98 put out over the years. Really enjoyed uh, YouTube videos, a lot of stuff that he was doing, a lot of the casting he was doing, and as I saw other people do it, I really enjoyed it, and I thought to myself, I wonder what it would be like to stream. I wonder what it would be like to put my content out there, and maybe I could bring some happiness and some joy to some other people, the same way that many streamers have done for me over the years. The many hours at work, right? Watching games on break and enjoying the different tournaments and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I got into the streaming and playing more competitively. And now trying to rise up as far as I can get in the competitive scene. Right now near 1700, but hopefully not that far off from 2K, right? But then the topic of the day, right? We're talking about laming. How did I get here on this podcast talking about laming? Well, I think several times as I've been streaming, it's been something that I've consistently seen in games, right? And it's a topic that comes up pretty frequently, not only with viewers, but even like amongst the professional player that you watch. You see them talk about it, some really negatively, some just saying it's part of the game. And I think there's like really, really varying opinions and views on the topic. But for me, as I like looked at it and analyzed it, it's like I didn't think it was a great thing in general for the game and for the community. Not that I'm like, so we're talking about hating hating lamers. I don't know if I would say I hate lamers, but I definitely don't agree with the playstyle. Definitely don't appreciate it. And I think we've all been there, right? We've all
Yeah,
been there. Go ahead.
the
Go ahead.
wording is kind of strong, but it's mostly for the algorithm. Don't worry.
Yeah. I think that as I played games more and more competitively, if I got lamed in those games, it made it really hard, really hard to be able to have a smooth game, to have a fun game. You know, it can be quite taxing. You're in the middle of a already competitive and difficult game, and then you don't know where your sheep are or where your boar is, and you're like, what happened? And then you start seeing those small walls pop up around the berries and the stone
Yeah.
and the gold, and the dread sets in, right? And you're just like, oh
Yeah,
no.
you mean when the cast starts to getting fun, right?
Yeah.
Laming is the number one preferred thing for casters. It's the time because in Dark Age you spend like 7 minutes just talking about, oh, so this guy went for the berries at this point. Interesting. And then out
Yeah.
of nowhere you see, wait, is he actually going to steal that boar?
Yeah. I think from an entertainment standpoint, if you're the entertainer, laming can be entertaining for an audience, right? It can be fun for people to watch. However, if you're the player, if you're on the other end of that, if you're the one getting lamed, it can be one of the most irritating or tilting things, right? As you're trying to have like a good game, a solid game.
So
And so yeah, go ahead.
it says here in your profile that you're around 1700. That means you can easily massacre Lonzo, right? Because he's a lowly 1600 player.
I don't know if I could easily massacre, but I definitely think that I would have a good shot at winning, right?
There you go.
I would hope.
We have a photo, by the way, of Lonzo on his wedding for people who were here from episode 1. So I hope you guys, Lonzo, I hope you had a great wedding. Also, I want to congratulate you
Thank
two
you.
on the wedding. I hope all went well on the wedding night. You and Leary, hope you guys, well, to be honest, it makes a great couple. I'm not gonna lie. You two look lovely together. So
Thank you.
yeah, there you go. Hope it goes forever, my man. I only
It
wish
will
happiness
go.
for you guys. But
Thank you.
any comments on the lamey aspect of the game, Lonzo?
Well, I didn't hear anything meaningful from S0laf1d yet. He just said he doesn't like laming because it makes the game hard for him and it makes him feel bad. And that's all argument he has. If he has, I don't think that makes any sense. Like, I don't like it when people make archers and kill me as well, but it doesn't make it like
Yeah.
out of the game or something.
So I was talking about more so the aspects of how it would make you feel initially. But I
Yeah.
think there are some strong arguments as to why I don't think that it's good for the game in general. I don't think that it should be banned at all, just so you know. I think that it should be a part of the game that you can potentially use. And I think on stream I've talked about it once or twice that there are circumstances where I think it's more justifiable than others that you could potentially do it, and I wouldn't necessarily look down on it. But I think the vast majority of games I would look down on it. Especially when we're talking about Arabia in general, right? The most played map, the most common map that you would be on. And the reason for that is both players start with equal resources, right? You both start on the same footing. You start with the same amount of gold, the same amount of boars, the same amount of deers, same amount of wood lines, same amount of stone, same amount of berries, right? Everything's equally proportioned one way. and the other. And so if you go to the other side and you take their boar, you kill their deer, you block off their berries, essentially what you're saying or what you're doing is saying, I don't think I can beat you on equal footing. I don't think I'm as good as you. I think that I have to try and make your map or your side worse. I don't have to improve my game and improve how I play with the things I've been allotted. I'm going to come over and just try and make your game messy. I'm not going to try and play well on my side. I'm going to try and make your game as hard as I can. And that to me is kind of an underhanded or a dirty tactic, right? If you're saying, I'm going to come over and all I'm going to do is make it a disaster for you, but I'm actually not going to do the things that are typical or normal on my side of the map. I'm not going to develop my eco like the way I should. I'm just going to steal your resources so that I can gain an advantage. That's not really my play set. Go
I
ahead.
see. So
The thing is,
yep,
there's
go ahead.
no such a thing as, like you said, I will not play normal. Like, what is normal? Like, like people
Meta,
just
meta.
go check the meta and like, okay, then like we don't have to play how it is, how it should be. There's no how it should be. Like you're saying that when people go ahead and like wall the berries, like kill the deer. To do that, you have to send the villager early, which is probably like at least 25% of your eco at that moment. So that's a huge risk to do anyway. And like
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that they are not as good. It can be that their CV is suitable to do that, to gain advantage early game. Like let's say you're gods. Okay, then like I am gods, I'm playing versus what is gods bad against? Probably everything. Like you're
a lot of
playing gods
yeah.
versus Turks. Okay? Then like okay, I'm playing ghost, but to make the opponent feel okay about it, I'm not gonna do anything in feudal age. I'll be chill. I'll go imp. Then I'll get fucked by the freaking bomber cans and hand cannons, and then I cannot do shit.
Yeah.
But
So I hear what you're saying.
If I
Go
got
ahead.
it right, S0laf1d3, please correct me if I'm wrong. You're just saying that for Arabia, right? So if you go on Habub, you kind of expect it to happen. Is that it? Did I get that right?
So I would say there's a lot of maps, for example, Land Nomad or Regular Nomad or Africa
Right.
Clearing.
Okay.
There's no allotted amount of resources to each player. It's 100% random. You don't know how many boars are around your enemy. You don't know how many boars you have around you, right? You're not unequal. The whole game is quite random compared to Arabia. It's not like he has a gold mine he starts with and you have one you start with. There's going to be many around the map, and so if you go and you take a boar from where you know your enemy is, he very well may still have more boars on his side of the map than you. Right? There's potential for that. There's potential that he has a much better TC placement. And so I don't think that in a random setting like that you can really take what isn't allotted to you or take what isn't yours or damage the other player's game to such an extent that it makes it very difficult for it to be competitive. Whereas I think that you can do that potentially on Arabia, where you can make it, if you get, say you get a boar and you kill the 3 deer that start on your enemy's side, you just essentially took 700 food away from the start of your enemy and you gained 340 food from the boar. You gained 1,000 res. That's 1,000 res shift in the very beginning of the game. That's a crazy high amount of food to it makes it very unbalanced, right? And here's, I guess, responding to what Alonzo was saying, I do think there are Civ matchups where it is a viable option because you are disadvantaged by the Civ matchup. I do think there are times where it is viable and it's not necessarily like dishonorable or not a great way to play. But I think that they're few and far between, and I don't think it should be the norm, right? That's my biggest thing, is I don't think that you should be laming every game or every other game, right? I don't think there's something wrong with once in a while choosing to lame because the circumstances call for it, right?
What do you
But
think
where
about
do
this?
you
Alonso?
draw the line there? Like, you cannot make a line about that. Like, if it's okay, if it's versus this civ versus that civ, but it's not okay if this or that. Like, there's no line about that. And
Well,
I think like there are close resources to you, same amount, but it's not actually yours. Like it's not like okay, this stuff is close to you, but it's still not like if it was yours, then they would put it under the TC anyway. It's not yours, but it's close to you that you can get it easier. And when they send a lot of villagers and use their scout, what are you doing at the same time? You're saying like they're killing your deer, they are killing your boars. What the fuck you doing? Where are you? You should do something about it.
Yeah, so
Sure.
Lafide,
And I think, yeah, go ahead.
Chat is saying that they kind of disagree, but they still don't like it to happen to them. If I'm reading all the chat correctly, they're saying stuff like D1000 said. It's like saying you're not a booming, so go all in, right? So it's what I see from what they are saying, and to complement what Lonzo is saying, is that it seems like you decided how should the opponent should play, right? I don't know if you've seen recently a post on Reddit. Do you often read Reddit?
I'm on Reddit once in a while, not
Yeah,
often,
that's-
but I'm
that's
there
the-
a little bit.
That's the healthy way. You should not be there all the time for sure. So there
Yeah.
was a post yesterday from a guy that complained the other player used the market and got to Imperial. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not, but I could imagine.
Yeah, but look at this. It's not the 400 elo. That was at 1200 elo. So that surprised me a bit. But then I went to look for the comments, and the same people that are complaining that there is a lot of red phosphor nowadays on the ranked, are also complaining that this guy is saying, oh, you have to play the game my way. The way what I hear from you, it kind of sounds like this guy. What would you say in response to that?
I would say this: you play whatever game you want to play. It's your choice, right? I don't have to like it.
Awesome.
I don't have to agree with it, right? I would say, if you want to lane, go for it. I don't think, and I said it from the beginning, right? I do not think that it should ever be banned in tournaments, in game, in ranked. I think it should be an option. I myself don't. I would think lowly of myself. If every game I went forward and lamed the enemy, I would think that I'm not really doing very good at improving my own start, and thus I feel like I have to go and damage the other person's start. I would feel bad about it. I'd be like, I must not be very good if I have to go do this.
But the whole game is about killing the other guy. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
Like if
but
like, they start in Dark Age, you want to start in Feudal. There are people who goes FC and don't want to even start in Feudal. There are people who plays the game with like 40-minute 30.
yes,
like-
I'm aware of that.
But like they want to start in Dark Age, like, and it's not even efficient. It's not like crazy. It's not easy to make it work as well. It's so risky. So what's the point in like you say that if they are doing it every game, you think low of them. If I go 19 pop scouts every single game, why is it
Yeah.
better than blaming in every game?
Yeah. So to be clear, if you went 19 pop scouts every game, I would tell you to improve. Right? I would be like, okay, if you're doing the same thing every time, I would say, the whole point of playing at least competitively is that you would grow as a player. And if you're trying to, for me personally, right, I'm
Agreed.
trying to entertain viewers. And I don't want to do the same thing every time. I want to adapt, learn new strategies, learn new ways to play the game, so that people are enjoying what they're watching, and so they can learn too, right? So it's a little different in my shoes because there's people watching all the time, and so I don't want to be stale and just, okay, I did this, I'll do it over and over again, I'll get really good at it, and then that's it. That's all I am. The one strategy player, right? One way to play the game. I would rather have various options of how you can play and then develop those well so that I can execute several different strategies in a coherent way.
But like
Fair
the
enough.
thing is, like there was a era of the game where everyone in every single game going Drash FC.
Mhm.
Drash FC, Drash FC, Drash FC. There was nothing else. They were not making scuds. Like scuds were not in the meta. Maybe for the last 1 year, maybe like things got a bit better for scuds and got worse for others. Like because the walling got harder. Now archers are a bit nerfed as well. Like that, the things happen to make the scuds better. Now people make scuds as well again. Like it evolves around what game offers you, and laming just happens to be a result of the game itself. Not
Yeah.
it's not about the player. It's about the game. If you don't like laming, you don't like the game actually.
So let me ask you this, S0laf1d. We are being talking of why we the reason rather we don't like lamers or laming, not lamers, right? You have nothing against the players themselves, but do you happen to have an episode that you went, oh my god, I hate these lamers, or something like that?
I think I could think of several, but two in particular come to mind very clearly.
Okay, now I'm going to look if you ever played against Lonzo. I have to. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a guy. He named himself No Lame Please. That is his name, right? He's around 1600, and I was around 1600 at the same time. And he picks Persian. Okay, he picks Persians, and his strategy is to come forward with basically all of his build. He comes forward with his scout first. He'll try and take whatever he can take, kill whatever he can kill, and then he comes forward with all of his build and tries to destroy all of your houses, just rust them down with his build, wall off any resources that he can wall off, and then eventually TC drop you, right? Persian Duke, right? And I did win both games I played against him, for the record. So, spoiler alert, I did win. But I can't tell you like how annoying it was to play this game. Not only how annoying it was, but just the like I said it back a little while ago, the dread, right? You see it happening and you're going, am I going to lose to this? Am I going to lose to this strategy? And it took a lot of effort for me not to resign during that game. It took a lot of effort for me to just like, okay, stay consistent. I can beat this. I know how to beat this. I have to play through it. And you know, like I said, I played up against him twice. The second time I knew what was coming, so it was a lot easier to handle.
Yeah.
But the surprise, right, when it happens the first time is kind of the crazy part. But I think of those games, and they are entertaining once in a while. And matter of fact, if it only happens once in a while, I don't think it's a bad thing at all for the community. Just to be clear.
And even for your stream, right? Because you were saying that you're not only playing for yourself to get better, but you have an audience. You want them to be engaged to your stream. So having a lamey happening or something that you do not expect. Actually, to be fair, the last game I watched from you was against a guy called Chris. Is that correct?
GTL, yeah, Chris GTL, yeah.
You just beaten him. You had just beaten him, and then you said, "Oh, I need to work." And Chad convinced you to play again, and it was a disaster. Do you remember that?
Yes, I 100% remember it, and it was a disaster. I did get lame very hard.
Yes.
It's a very sad game.
we have someone in chat that 100% agrees with you. He's saying that he hates the lamers. He says he even goes as far as saying lamers should be banned from the game.
Okay, well then he doesn't completely agree with me, because I don't think that. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that game was so funny, dude.
What's funny about that, right? You just mentioned it. I had just beat him very soundly, right? With Romans. like very clear victory. I would go as far to say domination. All right, it was a very, very strong win.
Yeah,
The next
took him
game-
a while to resign that game as well, right? Because
Yeah,
it was won for a while.
And then the game so he comes in my stream, right? And he'll stream play me, which I have no problem with that. I'm happy to play anybody who comes in and watches. As long as they're not right watching the stream while they're playing, that's good.
Yeah.
But like if they're watching, they're like, oh, I want to play this guy. Awesome. I love connecting. I love playing team games with people who watch. I love playing against them. Whatever they want to do, I'm happy to engage with that. But he stream snipes, and then obviously he knows me. He's played me quite a few times, right? And he's watched the stream a lot, so he knows that I'm pretty anti lame. So him coming forward to lame, right, is very much hey, you beat me last game, but you're gonna pay for that, right? You're gonna pay for beating me last game.
Sounds exactly like something Lonzo would do.
That's true. I think another thing is that why you don't like those games, when people do that, you feel like even if I win this game, I will not achieve anything. I think that's the perception that we have. I think that's a wrong perception to have, but I think that's the reason people don't like. I have that myself. Like when someone do something not considered normal, you feel like even if you beat them because they didn't play the game in meta way. So it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be counted as a win. I think that changes the perception of the game.
I think in one sense, I feel better when I beat the strategy I don't like. Like it makes me excited because it's like, I beat this person that's doing something I don't like. It makes me
because
happy.
you don't like the guy doing that, but you like it also makes you feel like you didn't earn that in a way that like it wasn't a normal game anyway. So I have to win it. Like when you said, what did you say? You said, am I going to lose to this threat?
Yes.
You feel like if you lose to it, it makes you lesser of a player because you lost to that threat. I think that's the perception of the what's a meta, what's a like way to play, and it's like if you lose a lamer, you shouldn't like the same with the douche as well. Like if you lose to a douche, you shouldn't lose to a douche.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think the Persian douche is actually a really weak strategy, like compared to laming. I think when you lose to the douche, it is more shameful, because you really shouldn't. Like in a statistical point of view, you know that it's worse. You know it's not helping them, right? They're getting behind.
It's relative as well. Like it's relative. Like how was the map? Like is it like that douche maybe forces you in a place where it's gonna be harder to defend, and maybe in that single game you just misread some situation, like place of archers, then they come with the archers and kill some just exposed. It's all relative to the game. Like you can play 5 douche game and 5 of them will be different. It's not gonna be the same douche.
Yeah, this is true. There are times where it is a lot harder to deal with than others. I'll give you that, depending on where your resources are. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think it's not about only the main threat, but because the game is like, and we play all the maps different, right? So it creates like all the different games. So I think it's like, it depends on the doucher or lamer as well, like how good they are on reading the situation. And like sometimes you should stop. You made enough damage. You can maybe now play it a bit regular, but sometimes you have to still go push, and making those decisions are not easy.
S0laf1d3, did you ever face a Persian TC drop on S0laf1d3?
I don't play Socotra. I don't play Socotra.
Well,
I'm not surprised.
It's lame paradise, so yeah, not really a surprise.
I don't play Cliffbound either. For the record, they're about the same to me.
Also known as S0laf1d3 Light.
Yeah, Socotra Light. Yeah, pretty much. Like I usually would ban those maps. Like I don't enjoy them. I don't find that they produce the highest quality of games. But like if someone really wanted to play that game and they're like, oh, I want to play a team game with you, let's play that. I could do it, but it's not something that I would choose like desirously. Oh, I really like this map. No, not for me.
Do you have anything to say about that, Lonzo?
I am not surprised. That's all I can say.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Make
Yeah.
everything arena. Regicide Fortress.
There you go.
Boom inside.
Can
Then you guys
lane?
will say, oh, even Turks and go fast and made bomber cannons so fast.
Yeah.
I think the problem is the pro players, man. Pro players and streaming and streamers. I think we should maybe stop watching tournaments. Maybe that's what.
What do you mean?
Stop.
Sorry?
Maybe we should stop watching tournaments and think like we are watching the pros and try to take the exact the same thing to our level.
Yes. Yes.
And then it just that perception it doesn't work.
Agree. Yeah.
I lost a lot of games because of that.
That's something I say a lot, that the game at the pro level, the game at my level, the game at you guys, your level, they are totally different games, right? So starting at about your level, 1600, 1700, there are Civ wins. At my level, this is not a thing, because the Age of Empires is a game where bonuses are very, very low. They have a very small difference. When you get upgrades, you get stuff like +1. In other games, you get +6, +10, +12.
Bro, I just played Age of Mythology. I played a couple games. I lost every single of them very bad. In one game, the guy freaking sent me a meteor shit, man, in my freaking base. There was a black hole coming, exploded and freaking killed everything in my base. I didn't even know that existed, bro. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, where is
Good time.
the anti-meteor protection?
I have no idea if that, but that was so weird. I didn't know that existed. It's just like Age of
Oh.
Empires 2 is so chill, man.
S0laf1d3, we just got someone that also played Don't Lame Me Please. Look at that. He
I see
said,
that.
I played yesterday against the player Don't Lame Me Please, and he lamed me in the first 3 minutes. I just resign. Let him take the yellow, so I will not play
Yep.
against him anymore.
So let me insert something into the conversation here. Have you noticed, and I think this has been my experience, and it's not always, okay, it's not 100% of the time, but I think this is my experience, all right? And you can speak for you guys selves if you found this to be true. But when you play people who typically lame, they usually have one of those names. Don't lame me, please, right? Something along those lines. And then they're the same guy who will send an insult or tell you or not say GG or just have like that poor mannerisms about him.
Now you are making
Now-
it.
Now,
It's
listen,
racism.
listen.
It's racism. It's racism. It's a racism against the lamer guys. I don't take that.
I don't think
You
that doesn't
you
speak
put-
for all
You
lamers.
put them in the same group and you now put in an etiquette on them as a bad people. Like you are saying, the lamers don't say GG. The lamers insult people.
No, I said it's more been my experience that the same people
Yes,
who have
that's
that
always
demeanor.
been.
What's that?
That's what I like. You are just saying that to not sound rude.
Controversial.
against them. Yeah, not
Well,
sound
I mean-
controversial. Like.
I think that there is controversy around the whole idea of laming. There is controversy. It is a controversial topic, right? There isn't consensus. We know not everybody does agree about it. So it is somewhat controversial.
Yeah, you are saying they are bad people as well. Not they are only lamers.
I
but
didn't say they're bad
they are
people.
insulting
I didn't say they're
people.
bad people. I will say that it does seem
Even
that there are
if you-
more lamers that insult. Yes.
If you let's say
Lamest.
you made that make that phrase again and say like people from US, they generally lame, and also they insult people, but not all of them. But
Well,
some of them do
that's
that.
hold on. That's
Yesterday-
against an
That's-
actual race,
That's
though.
the same thing. Exactly. Now you are doing it
Yesterday-
against flamers.
Yesterday, someone was saying that all Argentinians were toxic on Red Phosphor stream. And then an Argentinian guy just said, "Is this a bad time for me to introduce myself? I'm from Argentina."
That's
yeah.
funny. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
We also have superhero saying that S0laf is a lamist, not a racist, and I think that's might be more more in line with what he's saying, right? Back in Black said that it's not racist because they weren't born like that.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe they were born a lamer. From the
They
beginning.
grew into a lamer.
Maybe they are thief in real life as well. They just like to do it.
They steal in real life. They're thieves.
Wow. Now you're making hard accusations.
That's
But
a
hey,
joke. It's a joke.
Speaking of accusations, thank you very much for the gifted sub to Superhero Bill Boy Baggy Pants. That makes it 50 already in the channel. Thank you, my man.
There's another reality is that Turkish people are cheater. That's true. Like, you can go check the biggest controversy in Age of Empires 2 was created by the Turks. That's
What happened?
history.
Tell us.
I'm completely unaware of this. I want to
Yeah,
know.
me too.
That's a long story, but long story short, there was a Nations Cup thingy. Maybe it's not called Nations Cup, but it was like the like countries versus countries stuff. And
Sure.
Turkish team made someone Turkish who was banned play in that tournament. And it turned out to be that way, and they like figured out it somehow. And like there was there's a long Age of Empires 2. What was the
Really?
website? There was a famous website. Viper's dad created it. I don't know the name. I
You say
forgot.
Viper's dad created it?
Yeah. Viper's dad created it. What was that? I don't remember the name.
Really? Like his dad or a guy called Viper's dad?
Yeah. Viper's
now I'm
dad.
curious.
No, it's Viper's dad. Viper's dad is the owner of that. Like, and the servers are in freaking Norway, in his house. That's true.
We need an episode for this because now I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
this is interesting.
I have to go back and find those talks about that certain accident and AOE zone. Yeah, Egg zone. Yeah. That's the website. And in that
Viper's dad is
website,
legend.
like I went, like read all the thing. The freaking Turks did it, and it was the biggest controversy. And like Vubli was in it as well. There were like Vubli moderators who were Turks as well, was doing weird stuff. And that's like the biggest controversy in the Age of Empires history.
Damn, I didn't know a thing about this.
I will make a like research on it, and I will come with it. Don't worry.
That is very interesting. But coming back to the topic and still getting a tip from what you just said. What about in a tournament, S0laf1d3? Would you be like, yeah, okay, so this is a tournament, it's for all the marbles, maybe I should lame. Would you ever do that?
Yeah, so to speak to that point, that's actually one of the exceptions that I talked about earlier. I didn't mention that specifically, but I would 100% concede that if you're in a tournament, there's something more than just elo on the line, right? And every player knows that this is for a much greater prize than what you would normally play for in normal competitive play. And so I don't think that anything is off the table that the game permits. I think all of it
Very
should be allowed.
nice.
And
But then-
if you're
When would that guy practice laming if not unranked?
that's not hard at all. They have all of the professional players have things like they're
No.
doing right now, like boot camps, right? You're
What
going to
about
play
the
local
non-pro
games with other players.
like me, you, Lonzo, Chat?
Yeah, so like I said, I don't have an issue if someone lames once in a while. Like if they're like, I want to know how to do this in case I needed to in a small tournament or something like that. and so they practice here and there. No problem with that. Like I said, I take issue if it becomes the norm for a lot of players and you're running into it all the time. I think that that's what's unhealthy for the game. If it went that direction where everybody's doing the same type of thing, that's not not really meta anymore, and it's creating a problem for the gameplay where you're like, well, I just want to play a regular game, but here, 2 or 3 or 4 games in a row, if you ran into someone laming, you could get frustrated and be like, what is this? We're not able to really develop a regular game. I'm not able, say it never gets to post imp or it never gets to even late castle, then you're taking ages out of the game that normally would be there, because you have players that are going to resign early due to so much fighting being done in Dark Age and Feudal, where it becomes clear who's going to win by Feudal Age, right? I'm not saying that's always the case, but it can become the case. If you're like a Persian douche, by early castle, who's won the game. Like there's almost there's almost no way that game goes late. And I think that often that's the case for laming, where you're gonna kind of cut the game short. You're not gonna really develop the game in a regular way. And I don't mind that once in a while, but I definitely wouldn't want to be doing that all of the time. That's why
do you like water games, water maps?
I don't mind them. Like I like Nomad. I'll play like a mix. I don't like just water maps. Like Islands isn't really for me, but like if you're playing a game that has water incorporated into it that you can use, yeah, I don't mind that. That's
Doesn't
fine.
that remove
Scandinavia.
one aspect of the game though?
What do you mean?
If you don't play water maps, doesn't that remove the water aspect of the game?
Yeah, but I do. Like I would play Scandinavia. I'd play Nomad. I like those maps. I enjoy them.
They are not water
Fair
maps.
Say what?
Scandinavia is not a water map. They are just hybrid at best.
Yeah, so
They
you could call them
doesn't call
hybrid, but if you don't go for water on those maps, you usually lose, right? So I would say they're maps where water is almost a necessity. Not necessarily, but most likely. In Nomad,
More important than removing laming from normal game, I think we should all unite in a strength to finally define what the hell does hybrid mean, what the hell water means, because everyone has a different definition. We have superheroes saying Islands is a hybrid map. So yeah, I don't know anymore. That's it. I'm done with definitions on this game.
I think we can just remove all the water maps. That would make the game better. At least we wouldn't get them in rank.
Okay, so let me say this, and S0laf1d3, please, if you disagree, you tell me so. But I honestly don't like water in Age of Empires, because unless your civilization has a special unit, the meta is so stale. You have lots of water to maneuver, then you go galleys. You have lots of choke points, you go fire galleys, and there's no other choice. It's kind of
yeah. So I would actually like to see more types of ships, or more special unit type ships integrated into the game. I think that you're right in the sense that there's not. So think about all the land units that we have, and then their counterparts. We have very few water units, very few. Yeah. Granted, that may be more historically accurate, but it might be more fun for the game and a little less stale if there were more options. And I have liked that recently with some of the civs they added, such as Dravidians, right? You get some more options on the water.
What I think, water ramps would be good. What do you think about it? Water ramps.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah. They will be good versus galleys, but fire galleys would be good against them. You'll have like water ramps. They are like going on the water, and they can destroy the ducks real fast.
Yeah, that's what most of the ships did back in ancient times, right? Yeah, I know people are going to say, oh, but this is a game about the Middle Ages, not the ancient times. Yeah, I don't care. I want to have fun. I don't really care if we're playing Aztecs against Ethiopians on Scandinavia. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like if you care about that, why freaking horses are as tall as castles. Like
Yes.
it, you cannot
Yeah.
get away with.
Yeah, we have Therizidai in the game. Do you guys know the story of how that unit got into the game?
No.
No idea.
So there is no such thing as a Therizidai in real life. That never was a thing like that humongous ship. Almost all the information in the game about the Dravidian is wrong. Maybe we actually make an episode with Tyranno explaining this. She
Don't
loves.
tell me
Indian
Urumi's
history.
worse when it's not real.
No, the Orumi. Fortunately, these Lepi boys are historically accurate. But and also, can you imagine the guy that looked to a sword and said, "Huh, too rigid," right? How the hell do you come up with this Lepi sword? But anyway, yeah. So the information they got about the ships for the Dravidian people. The Dravidian is actually a language, but that's not the point. And they went to Wikipedia and they just said, "Oh, nice! There's information here about their naval prowess." But that was all wrong. It was literally invented by a dude that got his information from his dreams or whatever, and his sources did not exist. The books that he cited did not exist. Nothing. So Tenizidai in Medical Corps, which is one of their unique texts, simply is non-existent. So if someone wants to go and say, yeah, since we have the Romans, let's add 3 reams or biremes, I would say, yep, do it. I mean, who cares at this point? I just want to see water become less stale, because you have the fire ships. They are supposed to be the melee unit for water, right? Because they need to get close and all that. And the fire behaves in a way that if the opponent moves, you can just miss. That's why in the 10x tournament we are having right now, by the way, go check our games, our VODs, and our upcoming streams, because the games are so fucking fun. We have a bounty by a player that's giving you money if you get to destroy a enemy dock with Greek fire enabled, because it gives you 10x the range and most of the fire misses the target. That's how horrible the fire ships game is. So yeah, I would be willing to ignore a thing or two of historically accuracy in order to have the water more fun. They did add the Drummond recently, right? That's kind of like a mango for the sea. So why not do
Yeah,
as Alonso said, and also add the ram of the sea?
I love Drummonds. I
And
think they're a great addition to the
they
game.
don't have something which would work like knights. Like fires are like freaking men at arms, and they just die.
Yeah.
Maybe if there are ships that are faster than galleys, a bit faster, so they cannot easily micro return run. Maybe that can like at least then you would make some fires to mid shield and at some galleys and stuff, so that would make it a bit more complicated.
We can have
Right.
temple ships.
So
They can convert.
can we lane on water though?
No, you
Not really.
actually, I don't know. You cannot steal a fish.
Yeah. I
So
so
You cannot move it. Maybe
on
that's
like
what we
no
need. Move the fish. Something to move the fish.
on on Nomad you could like wall fishing villager in next to the dock. But honestly, like that's so little compared to laming normally.
That's
Like I
actually
don't.
that makes a huge difference though. That makes a huge difference in the game.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, but comparatively, I don't like. I don't. I see it as laming, but not really the same as on other maps for sure.
would you
Like,
consider that laming?
I don't know. Like I, that's hard because
Right.
it's like yeah, you're not really taking anything from them. You're just blocking their vil, and they could just escape from that. Like if
Yeah,
they're
but
paying attention.
the
the
problem is
result
you
is the
cannot make
same
the
though, right?
second
Less
building.
resources for the player.
You cannot make this second dock. That's the problem. You have to send a new villager. That takes a lot from you.
Yeah, so you can break the wall though. right? If they're repairing it,
Whoa.
the thing is
It
you can
takes ages and they repair.
in Dark Age. Well, so that's just it. If they're repairing, then they're losing a bill too. I mean, if their bill's standing there repairing, then
But
it's
still, when
same
it's
idle
Fiddle,
time.
but when it's Fiddle, they have their dog that they can make a second and third dog right away. But you cannot make it.
Here's what I would say: pay attention to your dockville. It happens to me. I've had it get walled in, but it's kind of rare. Like you really have to not be
It's
paying
not
attention.
rare. No, it happens all the time in team games. I hate it.
In team, well, yeah, in team games because there's way more vills everywhere.
Yeah,
So the
exactly.
potential is a lot higher for it to happen. There's a lot, like statistically, you're gonna have a much higher probability of running into another villager.
I hate it. It was the thing is you cannot even wall yourself. If you wall yourself, they wall that wall as well. So it doesn't
Yeah.
change anything. I hate
Well,
it.
I always use one or two houses and then wall on the sides of the houses. It would take them a long time to wall all of that. At the time, if you didn't see that they were walling that, by the time they're done, it's like, what is that? 8 tiles of wall they would have to add. I mean, if you're not paying attention that long to your dockville, it's kind of it's your fault for letting it happen.
Well,
So
maybe if you don't
You're saying
don't
that
keep your
low
deer
elos,
safe
they
in
deserve
Arabia,
to be lamed.
then that's your fault as well.
No, I'm not saying they deserve it, but like it's you have to not be paying attention a lot. And then yeah, you probably will grow from that. If it happens to you once or twice, you'll go, oh, maybe I should pay attention to that bill.
What did
And
you
then
say, Lonzo?
it won't happen next time.
I said, if you then you should keep eye on your deer in Arabia so they cannot kill
But-
all of your deer and take your boar away.
Oh,
I don't think you can't make that argument because if you don't know where your deer are, you can't be keeping an eye on them. You always
There's
know
no
where your
problem.
bill is.
Why
Your
you
bill's
don't know
always
where your
visible.
deer are? You have to go
So-
find it.
Yeah, sure, but also you can't stop them from shooting your deer. It's not you can't. Like there's nothing you can do about that. If he sends a villa over and it shoots your deer, you don't have any military out in feudal
There's
or
a
not
lot
in
of
feudal, in dark.
investment anyway, and what you can do, you can just send a villager to their deer, kill them.
If you know
Like,
where
they-
they are, again, it's
Eh,
there's
but
a lot
they
of it
came
that you
and
don't
find
know.
yours. They
So
came and find
unless-
yours, and you go and find
unless
them.
you are Burmese or Vietnamese, you start on equal footing about the enemy's location, right?
The problem
This
is
is true.
Mongols. Fuck the Mongols.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, well,
Yes,
I would
Mongols are never the problem. They are the solution to
They
any
are the
question.
problem.
Next
They're
topic.
the problem.
So I would say that's actually one of the circumstances I would say is most inappropriate for laming because you already have the hunt advantage. If you're taking someone else's hunt with Mongols, it's crazy because you can see your vision with your scout is so much larger, and you get a bonus for bringing the food in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
like,
They are great
y-
for laymen.
So
They are great for laming, but it's like it's horrific if your opponent's Mongols and he comes forward and lames you. Oh man, it's just so hard to win at
Yeah,
that point.
it's
but,
too
but wait,
strong. It's
wait. Now
like,
you
not so
touch
brutal.
you touch a sensitive part of my being, of my soul. You are saying that Mongols should not lame because they have a hunt bonus?
Oh yeah, like they're already getting a food advantage. They're already going to be
I-
up quicker. If you're
I
taking
would
your
say-
enemy's food on top of it, oh, it's basically GG.
I would
Like if
say,
I'm Mongols, go ahead. Sorry.
I would say Mongols should lame because they have the hunt bonus.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I
how I
look
feel
for,
as well.
like-
Yeah, I mean that's again to me like if I did that, if I was the player that had Mongols and went and lamed and I won the game, I feel like not that I cheated, but I took like major advantage. I'd be like, man, I kind of suck that I have to do this to the other player. I'd feel bad for him.
You have to
Because I don't
season your
feel-
bonuses, bro. Why would you
Nah,
have to
the
kill
bonus
people
is
in the
meant
game
for what
anyway.
you already have. Like,
Yes,
I get it. You can do that, and it works. But also, like again, if you do that a lot, if you're just okay here, if you pick Mongols and do that, I think it's different than if you got Mongols and decided to do that. Right, like if you random. I didn't.
You're putting so much ethical stuff on a game that
You're so,
this game,
but that's
man.
but it's personally how I think about it. For me, right? I'm not telling other people you have to play this way. You play how you
Me,
want, Lonzo. I'm not gonna be mad if you play that way. I'll be like, okay, that's how he chooses to
you
play.
are
That's
going
fair.
to be mad. I know you are going to.
Well, hold on. So it's been a great while. If I've lost really bad to a lame, yeah, I'm not happy about that. But if you
Yeah.
watch my stream, right, you would see that I've played against lots of lames, and I try and stay up about it and be like, okay, it's part of the game, it happens, and move on, right? And I'm not salty at people who choose to do that, but at the
I
same
can
time, I
vouch for
wouldn't be like,
that.
well, yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, I admire their play style. It's so good. I feel like, yeah, I don't really like how they played, but that's how it happens sometimes, and you move on and you do the best you can in the next game, right?
Yeah,
I think the
that is
games are out there. The games are out there to abuse. You should abuse the game as much as you can, and then they have to like switch the game and make the game different if there's a problem.
all right. So
I never blame the
Yeah.
player.
for those who don't know, as big as I am as a streamer, I actually have another job, right? Yes, I am raking in a lot of cash from Twitch, around $15 per month. So don't be envy, don't be envy. Yeah, yeah, $15, all that money.
That
But yeah,
makes a
I
lot of
actually
money.
do have a another job, and I work with law. So what I'm going to say right now is going to be related to that, but also our situation here. So I want to hear closing arguments from both of you, but I'm going to also introduce a new question. What about the Celts laming bonus? I want to hear first from Lonzo, and then S0laf1d can end our stream with his arguments.
Calculating bonus is it's okay. It's not even that strong, bro. I'm okay with it. I'm fully okay with calculating.
No, but I mean, we have a civilization with a bonus for laming, right? So how does that apply to your game view?
It means that they are okay with like the people who makes the game are okay with the lame themselves. So it means that we can lame. I'm happy. Let's lame. No problem.
All right, S0laf1d.
Am I open to respond? Yeah. So I would say that would be again a situation just like kind of like Goths, right? Where the Civ has been geared towards that as an advantage that they have. If you random into that Civ, then use its bonus the way it was intended to be used. The game was developed that way. It's fine if you use the bonus that way, but don't pick Celts every single time and abuse that as your only method of play, right? If you're like, oh, I want to make people suffer by using Celts and laming all the time, like if that's how you play, I would just be like, yeah, it's not how I think that. It's not a very nice way to play the game. If you're just trying to make people upset, right? If you're just trying to get people tilted, don't do that.
I don't
There's
think
a
that-
reason, right? There's a
Maybe he just-
reason.
Maybe he
Go
just
ahead.
tries to make himself happy, not makes others feel
Yeah,
bad.
so that's where I think if you look at it, look at the pro scene, and I'm not saying that that's the ideal, right? It's not the ideal, but how many of the guys, when they get Huang, because he does basically two strategies, I know he does some others, but basically two strategies, how many of them go, oh, I just don't want to play this guy because he does the same thing every time, and it's just so annoying. So I'm not saying that Huang can't do that. Matter of fact, I'm saying Huang has every right to do that, right? That's part of the game. But also those players have a right to say, ugh, ugh, we don't like this game style, and we wish that he didn't play that way all the time, right? Once in a
big-
while, it can be fun, it can be entertaining, but do you really want to play against Celts or Mongols every
Yeah, but
game?
that's a problem for top level because there are not enough players, and if you are around the certain elo, you might get Hong like 4 or 5 times in a row because there are no other players to match you on.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I don't think that's a
yeah,
big problem in a way.
I understand that there's less players at that level, but so anytime you get higher and higher in the elo, there are less and less players in the player base at that place. But even at my level, at 1600, I do play against the same people quite often. Like I have guys that I've played 10 or 11 times in the rank ladder. And I have like if you have the AoE2 companion app, right, you can look at how many times you've played people. And there's guys that I've played 10 times. And if I play 100 games and I play the same guy 10 times, that's 1 out of every 10 games that I'm playing the same guy, right? And hopefully I'm growing in elo enough that that doesn't happen repetitively at my level. But if I'm stuck at a certain elo level for say a few months, and there's 2 or 3 guys that I know are doing the same strategy, it can be, I might get them for the 6th or 7th time and go, I have to play this guy again, doing
What's
the
your
same exact
current
thing again.
elo?
Almost 1700. I'm like
Almost okay.
1680. Yeah.
Okay. It's now I never had a urge to grind.
Sure.
Last few months. Now what I'm gonna do, I will just grind just to be able to match you, and oh boy, I'll do some real weird stuff.
And Lonzo, I'm looking forward to it because in defense of what I've said earlier, if I'm not playing against it all the time, I'm happy to have a few games that way. They are entertaining both for me and the viewers, but not all the time, right?
Good
Once
content.
in a while. Good content. Yep. And yeah. And if you lamed me and you beat me bad, good for you. And I would try very hard to be okay with that. I'm trying very hard to have a good attitude about getting beat by a
biggest
lame. Okay?
the biggest problem is I'm not a lamer myself, so I'll have to
Yeah.
learn that as well. I never lame
Or we could have a
99%.
a straight up game and enjoy it. Good competition.
He's trying to convince you, Lozo. Don't fall for it.
Nah, I'm not going. I'll go like
All right.
40 minutes organs and
All right, people, thank you very much, everyone who was here today, especially, of course, our guest. I'm going to post him again here. I don't think I can shout out him again because Twitch has a limit on how often you can do that, but I'm just going to, I can't. But I can do this. Right. Okay, so parting words from S0laf1d3 first, then we are going to close up. And I like what you said about randoming into Celts for Lamey or that kind of stuff, because our next episode is actually about Civ pickers. So if you like them, if you don't like them, yeah, tune in.
That's a good topic. I'll probably try to do it. I just want to say thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. Really appreciated the conversation. It was a good time. I did enjoy it. I said earlier before the stream started that I was looking forward to it, and I meant it. And I have had a good time.
Nice.
So thank you to both of you. And I look forward to maybe playing some games with you guys in the future. And I'll probably be back for more content. You guys were very gracious in having me on, so thank you. And hope the viewers enjoyed it.
I think chat is making fun because we recently had a guy that's helping us with the tournament that we are having right now, the Secret Potato Championships, and he posted the link for the database on the tournament, and people keep asking him for the link even though it's pinned. So Superhero might have done that. So yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Too bad we cannot see Lonzo naked. He just now got his lights on, but oh well, maybe next episode we might see him on his underpants. There you go. Thank you very much for being here. You all know what to do now. My name is Soku. This is GG's.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.